for the singing of our national anthem, performed by Miss Kate Schiff. Thank you, Kate. Please be seated. Good evening, and welcome to tonight's commencement ceremony and our celebration of the graduating class of 2021. Tonight marks the beginning of a major transition, the move from junior high to high school. Graduates, tonight marks a true accomplishment in what you will find to be a world of challenges. You've all successfully completed this challenge, and everybody here this evening offers the most sincere congratulations. You've had the good fortune of going through your elementary years with wonderful people surrounding you. Your teachers, coaches, principal and assistant principal, secretaries, bus drivers, cooks, aides, school board members, and so many, many others who make up the Metamora Grade School staff family have given their all for you. Every day, they made you the most important person in the building. I would invite all faculty and staff to please rise. Graduates, please give them a well-deserved round of applause. Thank you, staff. I'd also like to assert appreciation to both the Board of Education and members of the administration. As we can see, we have only one board member here this evening, Mr. Commencement. While the others would love to be here and they're here with you in heart and spirit, with the restriction on numbers that we can invite, they, much like the band, the choir, and the staff, decided not to be here in large numbers to allow room for invited guests. I would ask the following gentlemen please stand and be recognized. Representing the Board of Education, Ryan Palmisano, MGS Principal Tim Damery, and MGS Assistant Principal Mark Docker. As for showing appreciation, I'd like to call your attention to a few individuals. Mike Uselak, as many of our students seem to come to know him as Mr. Mike, is retiring this year from his position as head custodian. Now, I know many of us know Mike for sometimes his rough exterior, but what we may not know is how deeply this Mike truly cared for Metamora Grade School. Mike took great pride and great pleasure in doing everything he could possibly do to repair anything that may have gone wrong so as not to cost the district money. There are many times too, and maybe some of our graduates here were the recipients of this. Mike would bring in cookies to a class of kids for any number of reasons, but that's what Mike would do. Mike, I know you're not here this evening, but thanks to your service to MGS. Let's give Mike a round. For many years, these ladies brought excellence in education to our students. Among them, they've been part of the Metamora Grade School family for more than 40 years. They too have made the decision to retire this year. Thank you, ladies, for making such a positive impact on so many students. The impact you've made goes much further than students in your class. Because of your influence on all of them, they've gone on to be a positive influence on others. Your desire to be outstanding teachers wasn't a chore for you. It's just what you did. We can't thank you enough for your service to Metamora Grade School. Kathy Steele, Molly Galundry, and Gail Simpson have also made the decision to retire this year. And I see Molly here. Molly, would you please stand and recognize? With introduction and recognitions over, I hope my comments this evening are such that anyone might be able to take something good from it, but my words are clearly directed at the 8th grade graduating class. And I know from the start that the primary reason everyone's here this evening is to see a particular student or students receive a diploma. As a superintendent, it should be expected that I say a few words, but I know too that I need to keep it brief. So over the next minute or so, I hope my words make a positive difference for our graduates. I'll start by saying that as I look at all of you, it just doesn't seem real that you're old enough to be graduating from 8th grade. I remember you as kindergarten students who walked in with a look of excitement, fear, and confusion. But here you are, and we're proud of your accomplishments. As you move on to high school, try to keep these few things in mind. First, life is often challenging, even hard, and sometimes not fair. Do not let this get you down. Okay, we'll play a game. Raise your hand if you've had a time at MGS where you know what, things didn't go your way and it frustrated you. Hands down. We're going to play another game here. How many of you, after this difficult time, came around and laughed and had fun? You know what? It's a normal part of life that allows us to become bigger, better, stronger, and perhaps, most importantly, wiser than before. You're here tonight because your successes have clearly been dramatically more often. You've taken on many challenges, overcome obstacles, and you're on top of your game. Don't let the frustrations that come along consume your attitude. Rise above it as you've done before, soar with your strengths, and take life to the next level of celebrating your success. Remember that the pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, but the optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Number 2, take time for your family. They're here tonight in loving support and like me, can't understand how you can already be this age and graduating from 8th grade and will forever be there for you. Once you get to high school, your time's going to be stretched even further. If it's a meal every day or a designated time before you go to bed, don't forget the importance of the loved ones in your family. In 4 more years, you'll be off to college, the military, or the world of work. Don't let the precious time you have go by. It goes by very quickly. Number 3, treat everyone with respect, kindness, and forgiveness. Seems like our world sometimes has forgotten about these 3 simple things. There'll be times when you get frustrated with others, but don't get bogged down with grudges, resentment, spitefulness, drama, or gossip. We can all remember times when we may have been the victim of that, and it stinks. Don't let yourself fall into one of those vicious traps. You all have way too much to offer. Finally, sometimes it's much better to take the path less taken. Be your own person, create your own trail, and make it one that creates a benefit for others. Each and every one of you here tonight is beautiful and has more to offer the world than you can possibly imagine. Set your goals as lofty as you want and go after them. There isn't anyone here who isn't capable of amazing things. Our world's a challenging place, but know that as you leave Metamora Grade School, you have the basis for achieving any challenge that dares to come along. Look in the mirror and please see what I see. And that's unlimited potential to be whoever and whatever you want to be. That's who you are. Do me a favor. Just plain know it. I'll close with this. People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world into a better place usually are the ones to do it. Again, look in the mirror and see what I see. Give me a slight variance to an Albert Einstein quote. You know what creativity is? It's intelligence, having fun. You're the best, and I'll always believe in you. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite MGS Principal, Mr. Tim Gannon, to go in with the presentations of awards.
Good evening. Welcome to this year's 8th grade graduation ceremony for the class of 2021. I would like to personally welcome the graduates' parents, grandparents, relatives, friends, Board of Education, and staff members that are able to join us in person, as well as those that are watching the live stream at home. As you know, I am Tim Gammon, principal here at Metamora Grade School. But before we begin the awards portion of the ceremony, I want to take a few minutes and focus our attention to Mr. Martin Payne. As many of you already know, Mr. Payne is retiring at the end of the school year. I would like to first share his journey as an educator. He started out as a high school English teacher at Stephen Decatur High School for 8 years. He then transitioned to the Dean of Students at Stephen Decatur for 4.5 more years, before taking the principal position at Henry Sanachline High School, where he spent his next 3.5 years. He then took another principal job at Geneseo High School for 3 more years, and then transitioned as a superintendent for another 3 years at Monmouth High School. He finally found a home at Metamora, where he spent the last 12 years as the Metamora Grade School superintendent. Over those 34 years, anyone who has had an opportunity to spend time getting to know Marty knows he puts his heart and soul into any position he has had. While at MGS, we have seen how much he cares about the school, its staff, and most importantly, the students. Everything he's done has been, as he loves to say, for the kids. Mr. Payne, on behalf of the students, staff, school board, and the Metamora community, I would like to say thank you for your 12 years at Metamora. It has been a pleasure having you serve the school as our superintendent. Your smile, laughter, and most of all, caring for everyone will be missed. Let's please take a second to acknowledge and thank him for what he has done for the school community. Now let's go ahead and move to the awards portion of the ceremony and honor some outstanding accomplishments by our 8th grade class. This year has had its challenges, and one word that comes to mind regarding the school year would be perseverance. Students, staff, and parents have had to persevere through the difficulties of educating remotely, half days, and finally, in-person full days, and all the challenges and changes that came from that journey. Parents had to readjust schedules and do what they could to accommodate the changes to the child's education for the year. For all of this, I would like to say thanks for the understanding and seek support as we went through this difficult year. Our 8th grade class has taken everything in stride, and the perseverance they have shown will be a positive learning experience that will stay with them for years to come. I want to end with this quote from the great Michael Jordan: "Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it." It is time for our students to be recognized for their accomplishments. We will be handing out several awards. First, we'll start off with our academic awards. There are 3 academic awards that we hand out each year: the President's Education Award, the High Honors Award, and the Outstanding Academic Achievement Award. Graduates, when your name is called, we ask that you please stand and remain standing until all names are called for each award. We also please ask the audience, please refrain from clapping until all students have been acknowledged. Let's start the awards off and recognize our students that earned the President's Education Award. This award is for students that earn a final GPA of 3.5 or higher in the 5 core academic subjects. These students will be presented a certificate when they receive their diploma. The President's Education Award is presented to the following students: Bailey Bender, Maya Brock, Zachary Bumier, Trevor Chapman, Christopher Colantoni, Ellie Cox, Trey Helwig, Gavin Johnson, Makai Johnson, Olivia Marsh, Madison Marsh, William Mishler, Mary Claire Murray, Sophia Ravallo, Lauren Riddle, Afton Rona, Catherine Schoaf, Adeline Shuda, Addison Sperry, Aubrey Sperry, Ruthie Stam, William Udell, Evelyn Ward, Maya Williams, Addison Wood, Troy Woods, Audrey Zeller. Congratulations to our President's Education Award. You may be seated. The second group of students to be recognized, in addition to earning the President's Education Award, also earned the High Honors Award by receiving a final overall grade of an A in all 5 course subjects. These students will also receive a certificate that will be handed out with your diploma. The High Honors Award is presented to the following students: Bailey Bender, Trevor Chapman, Elliot Cox, Madison Marsh, William Mishler, Aubrey Sperry, Ruthie Stam, and Maya Williams. Congratulations to our High Honor Award. You may be seated. Our final academic award, along with the President's Education Award, is presented to those students that earned all A's for each quarter, as well as the final grade of A in all 5 core subjects. These students were presented a medal prior to their graduation to wear throughout the ceremony. The Outstanding Academic Achievement Award is presented to the following students: Maya Brock, Gavin Johnson, Olivia Marsh, Sophia Ravallo, Lauren Riddle, Afton Rona, Catherine Show, Addison Wood, and Audrey Seller. Congratulations to our outstanding academic. You may be seated. The final set of awards is awarded to students that not only show strong academic success, but focus on qualities such as personal character and leadership. The American Legion Award is presented to 2 students who have shown outstanding citizenship. We ask for these students to please stand to be recognized. Congratulations to Gavin Johnson and Ruthie Stam. And now for our final award, the Principal's Leadership Award. This award is given to 2 students based on their outstanding example of student leadership within the school. We ask for these students to please also stand to be recognized. Congratulations to this year's award winners, Nick Palmisano and Afton Rona. Congratulations again to all of our award winners. You are outstanding examples of what Metamora Grade School students represent. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our first student reflection speech, given by Maya Williams.
Welcome, parents, teachers, siblings, and my fellow 8th grade graduates. Looking back on our time here at Metamora Grade School, I would like to say that I'm proud of us all. We've been through some crazy things together, but we never lost sight of what's most important: family, friends, and our education. Change is a scary thing to go through, but it can be good for us. I like to think of our grade school years as a roller coaster ride. My siblings and I take a trip to Branson, Missouri with our grandpa and cousins every summer. Riding all the roller coasters made me think of how much we've been through and how we dealt with it. With all the ups and downs, the loops and turns, the sharp stops, and the peaks of the hills, some people can get very tired of it. Aaron Vermillion once said, "Life is like a roller coaster. It has its ups and downs, and you can never be sure what's around the next corner. The only thing you know is that when you look back, you're going to think it was a great ride." Starting off on the roller coaster, you pull your safety bar over you and take off on the little jacks. The safety bar in education is our friends and family. They are there to hold you and support you. As you start to go up, your excitement builds and your adrenaline is running fast. This stage is elementary school. I still remember the first day of kindergarten when my mom yelled, "Go hardest thing in life was counting to 100, and the name Bob was the comedy. This was the uphill because everything seemed to go our way no matter what we did. This next step of going into kindergarten was a good change, and meant that we were finally starting to grow the smallest bit of independence, which is good for our character and who we are today. After the long uphill trudge, we reached the peak, which is fourth and fifth grade. I think we can all agree that this is our prime time of grade school. For a few years, everything felt perfect, and most of us felt like life couldn't get any better. It all started with rocket math. The competition to see who could finish first built so much suspension within that 1 minute of trying to complete 40 math problems. One of my biggest accomplishments is completing first in my class. And let me tell you, I was honored to have Mrs. Burnett hang up a poster with my name on it, marking that I had beat the record. We had endless coloring homework, and pulling the card because we were misbehaving felt like the worst possible punishment. AR reading was a top priority too, because everyone wanted to make it to the pirate party. I still remember reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Little House on the Prairie the night before the final due date. And before you ask, yes, I was that kid who beat their goal by a half a point. Fifth grade held some of our greatest memories. The teachers were very helpful and accepting of every student, and we're all focused on having fun at school before junior high changed it all. Mrs. Sutherland always said, enjoy it. It goes by faster than you think. I still remember the last day of fifth grade. My friends and I cried because we didn't want to go to junior high. We couldn't imagine coming to school without having Mrs. Sutherland as a teacher who let us perform our original puppet shows. This is the peak because we didn't care what anyone thought about us, and we were all focused on having fun at school. And just like when we were on a roller coaster at the top of the hill, we had no idea what was coming next. We finally made it to the year, and all we've heard from everyone is, it's horrible, everyone hates it, and it's going to be the worst year ever. The journey downhill of the roller coaster, when your stomach starts to feel all queasy and your head is spinning a million miles an hour, the one and only sixth grade. We all started to get close that things wouldn't be as bad as people said, but we couldn't seem to stop it. Homework, switching classes, projects, essays, and the worst of them all, lip locks. Everything was being thrown at us all at once, and we were clueless about what to do with it. But sixth grade did change us in ways that we never thought we needed. We experienced loss and a lot of stress, but in the end, we all pulled through and helped each other when we needed it most. Walking through the doors as seventh graders for the first time, we all thought about how we only had a few more years until we are officially done with this school. However, seventh grade didn't exactly go as planned either. We finally reached the loop. You're riding on the coaster, dreading the moment when the world from your perspective is flipped upside down. The loop is a pandemic, when we're all sent home to do online learning. It was so hard to adapt to the new format of Zoom calls and lessons, and quarantine felt like it would last forever. This is the loop because our entire world is flipped upside down, and there's absolutely nothing we could do about it. The pandemic did change our mindset and made us all realize just how important coming to school was because we could learn and retain the information better. It also made us realize that we all have each other to rely on throughout these huge loops in our lives. Last but not least, 8th grade. This year's the break run of the roller coaster. We've been through the ups and downs and the loops and turns, and we've come to a halt. It kind of feels like it went too fast, though, right? I mean, it's crazy how 1 minute we were walking through the doors of MGS for the first time, and soon we'll be walking through for the last. A roller coaster always feels like it goes by too fast, and you usually want to ride again. But in our case, all we can know is that we soaked in the fun and saved the memories that we made along the way because it was a one-time ride. We changed into independent, kind people thanks to the help of our teachers, friends, and family. Reflecting back on our 9 years at this school, I think we can all agree that this crazy roller coaster ride called grade school has changed us in significantly good ways. We've improved our character and we've grown close to our peers. We've made some of the best memories together, and I hope we can carry these with us throughout high school. This is it. We've been on a roller coaster and been through way too many loops and turns to count. Endless homework and busy schedules, the dreaded days and the hard work, the online learning, the expectations. But hey, it was a great ride, wasn't it? Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Ladies and gentlemen, It's my honor and privilege to present the graduating class of 2021. As superintendent of Metamora Grade School, I hereby certify that the students before you have met the requirements of both Metamora Grade School and the state of Illinois for promotion to high school. Mr. Palmisano, Mr. Damery, and Mr. Cotter, I most sincerely recommend issuing diplomas to them. Will the front row of the graduating class of 2021 please stand?
Luke Allen Goforth. Madison Lynn Burnett. Hunter Allen Shuda. Jaden Takaya Hooks. Zachary Troy Umeter. Madison Lynn Marsh. Landon David Noose. Raina May Carpenter. Aiden Joseph Smith. Rhea Michelle Jean Carpenter. Christopher Jackson Calandone. Addison Pamela Sperry. Troy Michael Woods. Olivia Renee Marsh. Gavin Alexander Johnson. Maya Grace Williams. Brady Aaron Foster. Adeline Paige Shuda. Nicholas James Palmisano. Sierra Dawn Ulrich. Cameron James Burns. Amelia Grace Cooper. Alexander Gordon Lanning. Bailey Ann Bender. Jared Nicholas Grapp. Ellie Nicole Cox. Landon Dale Cowper. Abigail Faith Song. Chase Michael Lee Brewster. Lauren Rebecca Miller. Matthew Elliott Zobrist. Allison May Shire. Andrew Daniel Griffiths. Mary Claire Murray. Carlin May Drumray. Olivia Jane Baldwin. Ruthie May Stam. Fiona Jean Polly Parker. Braden Maddox Moraga. Hannah Lynn Smith.
Lauren Christine Riddle. Josiah Asher Kellenberg. Kaylin Marie Luber. Anthony Thomas Carrico. Olivia Rain Allenby. Kevin Christopher Barker. Audrey Grace Zeller. William James Mishler. Catherine May Schoaf. Andrew Nathaniel Davis. Afton Elizabeth Rona. Trey Randall Hallway. Jordan Vanessa Cook. Trevor James Chapman. Sophia May Eaton. Timothy James Cullen. Evelyn Grace Ward. Carson Daniel Hale. Sophia Lorraine Ravallo. Jordan Lynn Adams. Kenzie Faith Reuter. August Edgar James. Maya Marie Brock. William Ethan Udell. Amelia Lynn Underwood. Makai Monte Johnson. Jackson Lewis Tessie. Ashton Dean Reeves. Gina Grace Portugrosa. Aubrey Grace Sperry. Marianne Elizabeth Hammer. Addison Nicole Wood. Natalie Marie Shaw. Mackenzie Elizabeth Cook. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Afton Rona for our second 8th grade reflection speech.
Welcome parents, teachers, and 8th grade graduates. For as long as we can remember, being a Metamora member has always been a label that we've worn with pride. We flew through elementary, conquered middle school, and now here we are, only a few months away from the let Jesus take the wheel and hold on for dear life rush that is high school. As I was writing this speech, a quote that really stood out to me was, "Sometimes you will never know the value of the moment until it becomes a memory." Dr. Seuss. I think that many of us will be moving past these last 9 years of our lives without much thought, but today I want to highlight our growth as a class over our time here at MTS. As we prepared to write our graduation speeches, we mowed the complaints, and then we wrote this on our memories here. Looking back at all our memories, I took to heart that maybe we've taken our education here for granted. Maybe being a Redbird said more about us than just our school's mascot. Maybe our education here really has been like the life cycle of a Redbird, the egg, hatchling, into ground bird. The first day of kindergarten, a day we will never forget. After our parents led the migration of us little eggs from our homes to MTS, they took special care to nestle us comfortably in our class lines, then gently take off, leaving us behind with our new teachers. Eggs are fragile and must be kept comfortable in a soft, warm environment. When we think about our younger years, I'm sure many of us are comforted by the pleasant memories of nap time, snack break, and having a coloring page for homework. The nostalgic songs, early childhood, and movies that we grew up with bring us all cheerful memories. I'm sure we all remember when the movie Frozen came out during first grade. It doesn't seem so long ago that the girls in every class were performing Let It Go every chance they got, or that the audience liked it very much or not. Our safe little shells protected us as we learned important lessons about academics and behavior. Learning to read, write, and count to 100 were all important academic skills we learned, but we also learned how to behave. Running in the hallway, kicking the ball over the fence, or running up the slides and writing our new spot on the wall at recess. But like all good things, our time as little eggs and babies of MTS was coming to an end, because hatching and 3rd grade was right around the corner. Slowly but surely, we started to chip away at our safe little shells, and we were entering our hatching years. Rocket math and only one recess was a rude awakening for all of us. We struggled to remember our multiplication facts, and many of you parents can probably remember many painful nights of forcing us to practice our multiplication flashcards, an activity I definitely cannot miss. We had more responsibilities like learning all 50 states, reading enough books to keep up with our AR goals, and getting our agenda signed every night. Like little hatchling chicks, we hopped around as the middle-aged kids at school. Not exactly the little ones anymore, but definitely not the big kids yet. In 5th grade, we started hearing about how everything we're doing now is preparing for junior high, and we won't get away with this in 6th grade. But none of it seemed real until we had to go to the all-purpose room on the morning of our first day as 6th graders. When we arrived at that 6th grade hallway for the first time, I'm sure we were all a little more nervous than ever before. In our juvenile stage, we start to attempt to make it outside the nest on our own. A little just like I'm doing right now. It's practically every kid's worst nightmare. But 6th grade had some good things too. We were able to participate in junior high team sports for the first time, which let us get to know the older kids, who seemed so old and elite to us back then. Mr. Coots trusted us with staple guns, which was probably a really bad idea, but I think we all turned out okay for the most part. 7th grade brought another year of sports, lit logs, and homework, but this time it felt more exciting. Next year we would be the 8th graders, the top dogs, the oldest in the school. But then on March 13, 2020, lockdown happened. To make a super long story short, we finished the year out online. After a spring and summer that seemed like the longest few months of our lives, fall arrived, and the possibility of having an in-person 8th grade year was just coming into view. We came back to an AU schedule for half days, and now we've all been back together full time, making the most of our last year here at MTS. After all these years together, it's been a whirlwind of memories, experiences, and emotions. We've grown up together and created memories and friendships that will always remain in our hearts. I'm excited to see where we all will go when we spread our wings and join the rest of the flock at high school. Leaving our nest here at MTS will be sad, but I think we're all excited to be moving on to bigger and better things. Thank you parents, teachers, and staff for always being there for us and for coming today. Congratulations everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Afton. And now we have a recording of the junior high chorus singing Larger Than Life, directed by Mrs. Catherine Green.
Mrs. Brigade, thank you and the choir for taking time to record that for our program tonight. Well, as we work toward the close of the program, one this evening. My understanding that this Friday, the 21st, at 7 o'clock p.m. on Channel 400, and multiple days following, we'll be able to view the graduation ceremony. So MTCO, thank you very much for being here. Just a few things as we get ready to wrap things up here. We do ask that for sure we wait till all of our graduates have exited before the rest of us exit. They've been instructed that because of the small signs being out in the foyer outside of the gym, it just isn't enough for us to be all out there. They will be going out to the grass area outside. We ask that you all continue to follow up that way. We're sorry we can't offer the time of refreshments and fellowship that we've had in the past, but those are the guidelines you're under, and those are the guidelines we'll simply need to follow. So again, they've been instructed to be able to go out there. Please keep the process moving. Graduates. I'm going to end on a personal note. Thank you for what's been 9 years for most of you. For laughs and enjoyments, more different types of high fives and handshakes than I can remember. But you made me feel special. Thank you for that. I missed a lot this year. But when I came back, each one of you made me feel both missed and welcome back. Thank you. As I finish my last graduation ceremony, if I could pick you guys up at one time and hug you, I would. For all the MGS graduates that have come before you, and for all of you right now, what I'm going to say here, please know how deeply, deeply sincere I mean this when I say this. I love you guys. Which brings